Welcome back to another live session from Forex Trading Wizard Academy. For the NY session coming up, we are seeing pretty impressive price action in many of the instruments. Currently looking at potential trading opportunity again after the previous session's successful trading opportunity. We are looking to find more trade in this session. Looking at here on, so we are looking at currency pairs where we can see there is some move on British pound US dollar and also GBP JPY. This is a pretty important session, as you guys know that couple of minutes coming up. We see there is in few minutes coming up core CPI and CPI, which is pretty impressive news in a couple of minutes. And with this CPI, we are looking to find entry opportunity in after the news better to have any kind of spike to avoid any unusual move in the market. So in the matter of 15 minutes, you will be seeing that coming up core CPI and CPI. So let's keep looking at the market first, potentially for any entry before we looking at the analysis. Before we look at any entry opportunity, greeting everyone. Welcome back to this live session here. Now let's first look at the trading opportunity here on the higher time frame, and then we'll be looking at the lower time frame to see potential entry. I'm looking at the monthly chart first of all to see overall direction in this market. Looking at monthly on gold, we can see that from the monthly, this is the monthly support level here on Xauusd, and I'm going to do a full multi-time frame analysis in this market to see how the price potentially doing here. This is the monthly support. Now why you need to look at the monthly is because monthly is the highest time frame where you can see a lot of trading opportunity on the lower time frame once we see that the monthly price how it is doing. So this is the monthly support here on gold, and with this monthly support, if you look at here, creating series of higher low. Initially the market has made its initial bounce back to the upside and currently on a pullback. So looking at weekly chart, if you guys look at it, you can see that the weekly open, once the market opened, it couldn't create a new higher high. Instead we see a lower low here. The price has just broken this weekly low. The previous weekly low is important because that's the level the market has just crossed that currently, and below this level we may see now an overextension that can give potential trading opportunity. Going to the daily chart now, it's a top down approach, guys. This is very important to look at always the higher time frame, the top time frame, and then looking at the lower time frame, that means that down time frame. So this is the daily price action. If we look at the previous daily highs here, and with this previous daily high, if we look at here daily high, and with this daily drop followed by another daily candlestick pattern formation, a big daily bearish candle followed by this daily current daily dodges. So far the market has reached early to this previous support and resistance to this 3357. As you guys have seen that from that level there is a very sharp rejection back below in this market. And looking at now 4-hour chart here, this is the 4-hour price action where the price has tested that high and then got that rejection strongly back below here in that direction. And with this rejection, what we can see here on gold, this is resistance here, the market has got completely rejected back below with a long bearish engulfer followed by this current session. It's forming a doji here on gold. Now If we closely look at it, we can see that this is a bearish price action here on 4-hour time frame. If we look at the 1 hour and lower time frame, looking at the 15 minutes, now we are in a time frame where we could find a possible entry. Now the 15 minutes here, you can see this is a trend line that the market is respecting on the 15 minutes, and we have seen that breakout structure here. This is breakout structure from this trend line, and it's now below this level. So which is with the CPI coming, what we want to see here, guys, that the market tested the high again. The way the market structure is forming is potential for bearish. Now if you look at the daily, you can see the market already has tested the low. The market already has broken the low here on the lower time frame. So therefore we can expect this market potentially continue to trend back down below here in this market. That being said, what we are looking at here on the 15 minutes and for the lower time frame, also looking at the 5-minute chart, here is the impulse on the 5 minutes that you can see from here, which is one single move back to the upside to this resistance, followed by, we can see that back to back quite a few sessions downside momentum here from this resistance. The market started to break below here. So that's a long-term downtrend, and what we are looking at here in this CPI is possibly a spike so that we can enter into a potential trading opportunity, because with the spike we most likely would see that the price to grab a good amount of liquidity for further move. Now in this live session we will be discussing about what is liquidity, right, which is absolutely very important point as a trader that you need to look at if you want to be successful as a trader, because liquidity is the fuel of the market, right? The market moves from liquidity to liquidity. Smart money moves the market based on liquidity. Now if you are a retail trader trading gold or currency, crypto, anything, then you need to know that when smart money is in fact going through the liquidity or grabbing the liquidity so that you can enter based on their trading system. That being said, here from the 30 minutes, from the 15 minutes here, that you can see the market here form a bearish engulfer crossing that 10 and 20 EMA, and where you can see the market here also form a bearish engulfer on the 15 minutes chart, expecting that this market to trend continue to drop here to this support level. Let's wait to see how the market potentially doing here in this instrument. Looking at the 4-hour again here, this is where I'm looking at the higher and the lower time frame. Our entry could be on the 5-minute chart, and we can look at the 30 minutes potentially for a trigger or a trading opportunity. This is the previous 30 minutes high here, and what we have seen that from the 5-minute chart, the market has bounced back to the upside with a one single move to this trend line, and we see that the price has got that rejection again from that level. Currently we see again it's breaking below. If you look at the daily chart here, now this is the daily price action so far that we have seen today. The price twice tested the high. So what I think that as the market already tested the high twice on the daily, we could see that less likely the market to break that low here, to bounce again, less likely to go back to the daily high. Instead, we may see even potential trend continuation. Now today's low is here, but we can see there is a previous resistance here with this red candle, with this green candle. Now this level that we have marked at 333.85 or 333, if we look at exactly here, 3334 level is an important level. I will be deleting the rest of the levels to see why it is important. Let's look at here. Now you can see that, guys, here from this daily move, this is the daily drop here from this level to this level, and with this green move from this level to this level. In this move there is only one green candle, right, which is forming a resistance line, and in this move there is only one red candle which is forming a support level. And the market tested today's price. If you interestingly look at this pattern here, it tested this support as a resistance. The high has been tested, and also if you look at here, this resistance turn support test in the low here. We see the market is almost reached that level, few people away, and therefore the market may possibly trend in these support and resistance. In today's price, already from the daily perspective, we can see the price tested this high, and we have opened our previous trade in the London session time, and that has secured the profit. Now expecting that another trade to come down here to this level, right? So 15 minutes, if we look at the trend here, that we can see the market is trending from that level to this level, right? So that's the support, that's the resistance. Now if the spike going back up again and giving further entry again bearish, we will be looking into an entry, because it's still showing downtrending market structure. Probably guys have seen the analysis, also discussed in that way. Welcome, gold will buy. Why do you think the gold will buy? It's currently still falling. Okay, it's still bearish. Still the market sentiment didn't change. Massive drop coming in news 3320 will test. Massive drop coming on gold with the CPI. Let's wait to see in 4 minutes time. This could be, right, because there is a if you look at the CPI, the data definitely is market mover, and there is one probability here that the gold might drop due to the news is because of the previous daily move, right? So when there is a data, you'll see that a day earlier the market shows the reflection. That's where also a very important price action that you can look at before the news, because when there is an event, the market moves before the event. That's where the smart way to look at the market. Keep in mind, guys, the market moves before the event. Any one thing that gold is going to drop here before the news, we have 4 minutes. Make a guess here or give some information here on the chat. Do you think that with the CPI having a massive drop, share your thought in the live chat, say something. Let's see that what you think is gonna be reflecting with the CPI. And also the data of the CPI is important, because if you look at that CPI coming, all right, now if the data coming bad, that means that if the data coming negative for DXY, gold might be bouncing back to the upside. Always reverse effect. Think it's gonna go up. Anyone up? Anyone up? We have 3 minutes. Let me see how many members, how many of you think that going up and how many of you think that going down, so that we have an understanding. And also we are ready for an entry here in this market. Pretty volatile that we can see. We will be looking into that entry as soon as we find suitable price action confirmation here in this market. I think going up. Okay, then everything depends on CPI. Very good. It's a middle edge. On upside, bearish first, then downward move. Okay, so for expanded academy, no, upside first, then going down. Okay, Juliet gold will retest 3348. 3348. Why 3348 is the 4-hour level. So this is the high here. Anyone else different? Anyone has a different opinion? I think what everyone thinks. If you look at here, you can see that we have only 1 minute to go. Spike could be to the upside, and I think the market may possibly return back again. What do you think? But I'm not entering any trade with the spike. Let's wait to see. The way the market is showing is that technically it is still bearish market, and we have only few minutes to go. Okay, well done. Let's wait to see. We have few seconds to go for the market. Before you look at the data, you will see the move in the market, and yeah, that's what's happening. It's going back to the upside. And now let's see if it is getting a rejection here. It moved back to the upside here. As I mentioned earlier, there is a spike up. Now this up spike, the question is this having a reversal or it's a trend continuation? Let's wait to see how the market is evolving. We can look for entry once we see that something is happened, that we can take the trade. Today's high is 3357. What's happened with the data? Why the market reacted that way? Let's look at, as I mentioned, negative 2.7 yearly. The other two data fixed, one negative. So overall on average is negative for DXY. That has given a boost on gold because it worked in a reverse effect with the DXY. We might see the down on DXY. That's what happened. DXY has dropped. And if you guys looked at my analysis on DXY, this is also, I have mentioned that the market to pull back certain level and then to revert back again. So we see the DXY is rejecting from that high, that which is on dollar, just going to the upside here. So that means gold is acting on a reverse effect from the support level. Now, if this move is a reversal move, then we might see pretty strange move back to the upside after a multiple liquidity gap. Now we see the spike back to the upside. Now this spike, is this the market is taking back to the upside here, or it's just a liquidity grab and coming down again? That we will be looking from the further price action confirmation. 30 minutes price action here that you can see on gold is, this is the 30 minutes move here on gold, and that 30 minutes candlestick pattern a bounce back to the upside here. Let's wait to see how the 5 minutes candle closing as well. The candle close is important. If we look at the 1 minute, here we can see the market is preparing for a potential price action confirmation here in this lower time frame. We'll be ready for scalping some pips here in this market. Here's the bullish move back to the upside, and you can see from here it's trying to push back. It has just crossed this trend line. Now the question is here is the market is coming back again to this support level. So there's a 5-minute candle closing in few seconds. We would like to see that how the market is evolving in this area. This is potentially be bullish or bearish. Let's look at the 1-hour price action and the 4-hour market structure, how the price potentially be heading in this area. Looking at that one here on the lower time frame, the price is showing a potential entry. There is a structure here that you can see, and this is structure that you can see on Xauusd is potentially to trend back here to this support level, and that 15 minutes perspective and the 5 minutes price action that you can see from this liquidity graph. If this market reverse from here, you'd see that complete bounce back to the upside, but I think there is a possibility now. This is the 1-hour price action where there is a doji. The price has tested the 20 EMA in this 1 hour, and the market structure is still maintaining that bearish, which we could see potentially continue to remain bearish. Is the 1 hour price action where the market has tested this 20 EMA, and we can see there is a 10 and 20 EMA retest, crossover from that. For us to find an entry, I'm looking to see where the market is settling for this structure. Either it's creating a new bullish market structure, or it's a liquidity grab and the price to prepare back again to the direction of the major trend. So far here we see that there is a bearish price action on the lower time frame. After this move, price is slowly trying to build that momentum back again below. From the 4-hour chart here, that we can see there is a potentially a doji formation here in this lower time frame. So after this bearish move, a doji, and that is where looking to see that if the market going any of this high so far this session, right here we might see now a push back to the upside. Okay, if the market breaks this low here, 3344, we might see that potentially moving back down here. Cool. That's where we could see that potential. There's a fair value gap. This is a fair value gap here, 24 pip fair value gap. I'm going to place a pending order here, sell stop on this fair value gap, stop loss above this high, and we'll be placing the stop loss above this very tight stop loss above this red candle, which is a liquidity candle, and we'll be placing the sell stop at this level, 3344. Sell stop at 3344.43. Stop loss at 3347.36, and TP target setting at 3340.96. If the market reject from that level, we will be on the trade. Very simple way to trade the market. Sell stop Xauusd, there's a potential for sell here on Xauusd. If the market breaks below, we will be on the trade. Placing sell stop at 33344.05. We'll be placing a stop a little higher, 3347. It's pretty volatile market, 3347.48, and TP target setting at 3340.96. Now here is the sell stop. If the market drop back below here, we are on the trade, and that's a we can see the market currently trying to push back again to the upside here from the 4-hour level. It's bounced back again to the upside. So therefore any break below here is where you will be looking into the entry in this market. So here is the lower time frame price action. You can see here is a support level, and expecting that the market to potentially if it drop down here to this support, we are on the trade. The reason is that it left a fair value gap, and the possibility for the market to revert back again is higher. So we are looking at to see if the market is potentially coming back here for another test here on gold. Waiting on to see that it's coming back here, filling that zone, testing that level, and then bouncing back to the upside or dropping down further. Here you can see the market. Here is the high from a double top. We may see that the market to potentially trend back down here. If the price drop down below, we are on the trade. Otherwise we will be waiting to see how the price is doing here. Now with this double top, it may potentially come back further below here. There's a 15 minutes candle close coming, and that candle close could be an important price action pattern that you can look at here for the market to possibly come back here or go back again to the upside. I hope that you guys enjoyed the live session. Make sure you give a thumbs up. We have placed the sell stop here, and the reason is for the fair value gap. We are trading this fair value gap as the market has make a move to the upside, drop back down, didn't test this order block properly, and the most likely if this market breaks below here, we should see that move down here to fill that fair value gap or even breaking below further. If it doesn't drop here, then we might see potential trend continuation. So if the market drops back below, you'll be targeting here 33, 34 pip move down here. If the market is trending back to the upside here, we could see that continuation. And see, it's consolidating here, and with this consolidation, possibility to break below or possibility to trend up. So if it trend up, then we might see a new move back to the upside, but I will keep that pending order here until the 4-hour close, which is still we have nearly to 2 hours to go to see how the market is possibly reacting to this higher time frame resistance line here. Here is still showing that bullish, but anytime you can expect to return to the direction of the trend. Looking at the higher time frame, again on the lower time frame, this is where the market from here support, from this support level, is moving back towards the upside here, where there is a bounce pullback, a gap here, a fair value gap that could lead the price potentially trending to the upside. There's a move here on gold, and that move may bring the price back below here. Welcome back to this live session. We placed the pending order well below. It's currently trending up, but today we have seen so far the market has shown bearish move since yesterday's big drop here. So until we see a complete change of trend, we are still looking to see how the market potentially reacting in that area. And with the weaker CPI data, gold has reacted as a bullish, as with the weakness on DXY. And now, because the market has had a very long consolidation in this area, to see in fact where possibly the market is being heading in that area. You're seeing here the move here in this market. We see the price after cross of this high, it's carrying that rejection back below from that level, and that is where we are looking to see possible entry in this market. If you look at here, what do you see? That there is a rejection from the top, and here is a bearish drop here in this area where you can see the market slowly trying to build that pressure back below. And now to find our entry, as we already placed the pending order in that area, if this market breaks below here, as it is currently in a local uptrend, if we look at the 15 minutes, we can see the market still didn't cross from this 10 and 20 EMA. So there is a possibility for the price to potentially break that low here, and The entries is still valid here. I'm still holding the entry, as if you look at here, there is a fair value gap, and that might be that the market to potentially break that low here to this support level. And there is the one single drop that coming up, as you can see. That's why in a long-term falling market, always look for potentially to bearish market structure. This is a falling market, so you'll always looking for selling in this market. That's what we're looking at. In here you can see it's a big drop to this level, expecting the market to continue to trend to this support level. That is where the market has crossed that high, and with this cross of this high on gold from the 5 minutes that you can see, the price has reached that level, and from that zone expecting it to come back here to this support level. And this 1 minute candlestick pattern that you can see, after this drop it's on a pullback, possibly to break that low here. We see there is a breakup structure. Now if it is in the major direction of the trend, this breakup structure, I would look to buy from here. But I'm not looking at is because of the fair value gap it left here, and it is possible for the market to straight drop back down in that level. There is a narrow doji in that area that you can see it has formed, and that narrow doji, we can expect the market to trend continue to drop here to this support level. As the price is pushing back here from this head and shoulder, expecting to come back here to break that low, potentially continue to trend down here. So it's still breaking below. The trend is down, as you mentioned. Now it just has crossed the 15 minutes low. There's a potential for a bounce back to the upside here. Also there's a potential for a trend continuation back below in that direction, depending on where the market is heading to. Here is a head, left shoulder, and the right shoulder. It formed that head and shoulder, and that head and shoulder could lead the price back here, even possibly coming further below in that direction here. And the entry here is well below, is because you want to see that the market has again rejected completely from the structure it has made back to the upside and coming to the direction of the major trend. Okay, so here is the market is slowly building that pressure back below. Welcome to this live session. Here is what we can see after this head and shoulder. The market is now slowly trending back below in the major direction. With the news we saw this is spike back to the upside from the 4 hour. If we look at the price tested this 4 hour 10 EMA, and from that resistance it got rejection back below here. Now with the local price action here, the entry is well below this support level. The reason is there is a fair value gap. If the price reach this far, 3344, we should be able to see further downside here, and that's what we want to take this trade. If the market is going back up in that area, in this zone, because we have seen already there is a bearish move, we will be waiting to see the market structure form. Now looking at daily here, we can see that already the market, with market open early, it bounced back to the upside, drop back below. It's on a currently in this support and resistance. There is a big head and shoulder now with this head and the right shoulder. Welcome to this live session. Waiting for safe confirmation. Yes, we are looking for the best time frame. It will continue up. I think still not fully ready for a push complete back to the upside. You can see that it's now moving in a sideway. What I think that if you look at the bigger picture here, you can see that there is a consolidation. The market tested this high few times, and that is where the possibility for the market to test this low here. And it is less likely the price will be able to directly bounce after quite a few long wick candle. You can see it's forming long wick candle here. So those long wick candle, if you look at the 15 minutes, you can see quite a few long candlestick pattern showing that the market possibly to remain downside here. This is the 1 minute price action where it's whenever it's going up getting that rejection. So after this kind of rejection, once the market will be able to break below, we could see that the price even come back here to this support level. And that is why I would like to extend the TP target to this level instead of that level. If the market drops, we will take a little higher profit target here. So I will be changing my TP target 3339.00. with this pending order. For the pending order, I changed my TP to 33390. So I changed my TP here little below, as if the market drops here, should be able to see possible further bearish move in this market. And this is 5 minutes candlestick pattern that you can see, and also the 5 minutes, 15 minutes, both of this price action. Trying to create a structure in that area on the 5 minutes time frame. And that is the market from this long week, and in this long week candle expecting that the market to trend, continue to drop here, and that's where you see the price is slowly trying to build that pressure here in this market. And that's where you can see there is a long week rejection, expecting further move back below here in this market. We see that there is a big move back to the upside here, and a doji 30 minutes price action, 5 minutes price action here with a long week candle, expecting it to break that support, continue to drop here to this level in this zone to create a new lower low. So here is 1 minute bearish engulfer has formed, and that price action we can see it's a kind of W formation. And that W here to break that low, continue to trend down here, catch that low, and then to drop. So you place the pending order here. You can see it's now trying to penetrate that support. And with this penetration below, expecting to touch that, touch that level, test that level, and then to continue to drop to this level. So the price is nearing our entry. Are you guys there? Can you say yes if you place the pending order? Make sure you do the proper risk management, which is very important. If you guys place the pending order, say yes in the live chat or say something. I want to see how many traders following this pending order. Okay. Speedo. Anyone else place this pending order? Now, if you just have started the stream, this is the pending order that I placed, and also I have shared in the premium group that I have shared. Okay, welcome. This is a long week, and with this long week here, come on, I'm good, thank you. You're welcome. Welcome. Now, this support that you can see the price is broken, we might see that the price to possibly moving up and then to return again back below. Here is a very interesting price action it has formed that you can see that could continue to drop here. As you can see, there is a head and shoulder, visible head and shoulder. Once we see the trade has triggered, we can expect it to drop to that support level, right? This is what we are looking at in this market. And 1 minute, another narrow doji that you can see has formed. In smaller candles give you some clues here. The clue is that whenever you see the smaller candle form, the market is potentially preparing for one directional move more often. That means that breakout. Smaller candle means that consolidation. So if you see that, you know, on the 5 minutes, a smaller candle, 1 minute consolidation, and that consolidation can give you a stronger breakout or breakdown. So here is a smaller candle. Now this consolidation can have a stronger breakdown or breakout. So if it is coming breakdown here, you see the entry is here. Now we are trading that fair value gap. So I more often talk about fair value gap is very important, because when you see the market left an imbalance, you'll see that it feels that imbalance, because in fact the market doesn't like to leave an imbalance, like the universe doesn't like to leave an imbalance, right? Universe constantly strive for balance. Everything happening in this universe is to restore the balance, and the market also doesn't like to leave an imbalance. So if you can find that imbalance and trade that imbalance, the probability will be very high. You can see that 1 minute bearish engulfer is potentially being formed, and that bearish engulfer, if it is bringing the price here on fair value gap, we are want to take the TP to this level here to see if the market is bringing that price back to this level. This is an imbalance in the market, and the price is approaching that entry and wanting to see the price to hit that level, right? Yep, I am on the trade. The trade is triggered on gold with me, and now just the trade is active. We might be able to few pip up here for the stop loss, because it's a too low stop loss. I want to move little bit higher for the purpose of the movement of the prices, the highly volatile. 3347.84. All right, so you can see that downside here, and expecting it to break that low. Keep pushing back below here. This is the second trade of this is the NOI session trade. We had one previous one on London session. Now the market on the imbalance, expecting it to break below here to give us that possible TP hit. I am ready to close anytime if needed. Still I am running in, and that's a very tight stop loss. Dropping that below here, and as soon as, because it's a very tight stop loss, also we will be taking the tight profit target here. The market is approaching that fair value gap. I'll give a shout out as soon as I will be closing the profit here. So there's a 5 minutes close coming, and come on, This 1 minute candle is important because this is one I would like to rely on either to drop or to bounce back up. All right, cool. One more drop that we need. Rejection back below here to the order block. Okay, so 2 dodges on the 1 minute and 5 minutes closed. Wanted to see the market is breaking that low here. It might now potentially bounce here and so we're extended. Market in a so it just started to bounce back again for a pullback, and it's a very tight stop loss as I mentioned earlier. We might need to have a re-entry here. This is a very stronger move. Now might go ahead and retest this resistance and reject back again. Looking at here to see how the market is doing, I've deleted all the lines and levels to see fresh potential entry. Now it might go ahead and bounce back again. So to find another entry, this is the 1 hour price action also. Next level we can look for potentially for entry is at 3354 level. If directly the market goes up here, So it formed a doji here in that area, and welcome back. Okay, so we have to find further entry. As you can see, the price rejected back here, tested this long wick, forming a long wick, creating a series of lower high, and we see there is a 5 minutes candle closing, back to back 2 liquidity grab, and that's where we can see the market is showing possible price action pattern here. There's a bounce back to the upside on the 1 minute chart, which is potentially showing that the market may break below here to this support level. Again, we see there is another liquidity grab, and it has broken this fair value gap that we have seen after 15 pip moves, bounced back to the upside again. Now what we could see here in this market, as you can see one single move has broken this resistance. This is 1 minute price action where the price has, this is 48 pip fake out, that might lead the price again back below here. From the 30 minutes, the candle closing in few minutes, we can see a long wick doji, and from the 15 minutes also a long wick. Now from the 15 minutes perspective, if we see one more bounce here to this 3354, we can look for selling. Otherwise, if this candle closing below this level also, we could see later the market to possibly trend down. So the bearish market structure showing still stronger. Whenever the market is going up here to this key level, the price is dropping, you can see there is a move here, a single move back to this key level, and got that rejection. So the price now to possibly come back again to 3338 level. So that drop could be on the lower time frame a good trending opportunity here in this market. So 3354, if the market reach that level, we can look for an entry again upon the price test that zone during this candle, during the lifetime of this 15 minutes candle. If the market is going there to retest, we can look for possible entry. Now from the multi-time frame, we see that it's a bear market. It's very weird. We'll be waiting for another entry as we see the market is preparing for what I think possibly to continue to drop. There is a manipulation here quite a few times. Long wick candle formation is basically a sign of rejection of the higher price. From the 4-hour perspective, there is a doji that we have seen on the intraday, and this 4-hour resistance where there is a 10 EM as well, the market tested. We see there is a rejection. So that rejection that we can see on the 4-hour, it's a bear market. So if the price is going back again for another retest, we could highly likely see again rejection back below. So the market structure overall that we can see in this market is bearish with the CPI. As DXY has got weaker, on gold we have seen there is a reaction back to the upside, and only CPI may not be able to make gold completely a bull market. It may be a short-term bounce that we can see in this market. And there is a long wick, another doji here. Here is slowly trying to push that price. Here we might see some upside move, and most likely we could see that the break of trend line. And that break of trend line is where we might see the market to trend to melt in that direction again, back below this support level. The current level that we can look for possible entry is the market to break that high before 15 minutes close can give us a possible entry opportunity. There's a pin bar here, and with this pin bar, it's now trying to bounce back to the resistance line. Here is a support. The market has moved back to the upside to the resistance line. And we see that the price slowly pushing back here to that liquidity zone, and where with this pin bar is pushing back here. And that move is important to see that the price before the 15 minutes close moved again, and then possibly to come back here for another drop to this support level. So from the overextension, if we look an entry, looking at multi-time frame is very important, because that's where you will be able to see where the market is potentially heading. Let's delete those lines here, and the nearest level that you can see in this market is from the 5 minutes. This is the down move where the price is pushing back again. With a bullish pin bar, with another bullish move here on Xauusd. Now trying to build up pressure back to the upside. To find the next entry, as we can see, the market is still on a move back to the upside here, and here is a series of higher low. The trend is still locally here showing some upside, but the overall move still hasn't changed from the downtrend to an uptrend yet. If the market sentiment is changing, then we would see the price to show up. There is a 4-hour candle close coming. If this 4-hour candle closing as a doji, most likely we'll see the price to return again back below. How the candle closing is quite important, because that's what will determine either this market will continue to rise or drop again. When the market choppy like that, this is a preparation for possibly another move, especially after the news. Let's wait to candle close. And this is a kind of puzzling price action. If you look at here, what do you see? This is the 5 minutes price action. There is a liquidity gap here, drop back down, and there's a liquidity gap here, bounce back to the upside again. This current candle crossed this liquidity zone again and rejected back below. finding a trend is very, very hard sometimes. And that is why patience is key, because you see the move, one single move happen, and then the market creates very different price action in terms of liquidity gap. It will confuse you in terms of the directional bias, so which way it's gonna go, up or down. Because once you know that, it's gonna be much easier for you to enter, because the next thing we need to find a bullish engulfer or bearish engulfer or a liquidity gap. Now before that, only thing that you need to know is the market structure, that how the price is building that market structure. Because when you see that this candlestick pattern, the market potentially to drop, and when you see this candlestick pattern, the market is potentially to bounce. And then we see a red doji which has crossed this high, and which is also potentially a bearish price action. So that to play out fully, we need to see that the market is prepared for a fully one directional bias. Once it start trend completely, it's gonna have a very predictable move. That's why we'll be looking into the entry. What if the market decide not to go back to test the support? Aren't we going to talk to take the trade? Well, if the market is not going to test the support, we still can open the trade if the market creates a new structure. Because if you decided to take a trade on the support and then the market didn't go to the support, doesn't mean that you're not gonna take a trade. So what we need here is to find a confirmation in terms of direction. If the market doesn't come to the daily support, then it should create new market structure, such as bullish market structure. But when it is in a sideway and the market trend is still valid to be bearish, then we have to wait to see that, to clearly create a directional bias. Now you can see here in this market, this is resistance, where resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, and also resistance here. Pretty important level of resistance. And in this resistance, the price, if you look at here, it's a very sharply respected resistance, creating series of lower high in this direction here. So it is penetrating back below the support but is respecting the resistance. So that means at any point you could see the market to drop in this direction is high probable. Just coming down here from this level. If you look at here, it's feeling that long wick. Now you see that there is a 15 minutes candle closing with a long bearish engulfer crossing that high, and on the 5 minutes is trying to drop back down here. So you see that downtrend continuation here, and that is where the market is creating the structure. We see that downtrend, it's a trend continuation back below again to the support level on the lower time frame, which is bearish market, and possibility for the market to continue to drop is higher now. You see it grab liquidity many times, still maintaining bearish market structure. Here is the bearish market structure again. The price is showing that possible trend continuation here. You guys can see that it is still maintaining downtrend. So as coming up in few minutes, a candle close coming on the 4 hour, which is potentially closing as a doji. Depending on how it closed is important, because the market already tested this key level, the previous resistance and support 3334. And this is where from here with this bearish doji, now if you look at overall bigger picture in this market, what do you see? That 1 hour price is where there is a 2 times double top, cross that 20 EMA, and then the next one form a long bear candle, back to back 2 green candle that you can see is narrow and long wick, followed by this current 1 hour candle is a bear candle, which is a long bearish engulfer. So this price action here is showing that possibility for the market to continue to drop is very high. Now lower time frame also we can see multiple rejection from the top, and the entry criteria from the lower time frame, if you look at the 1 minute and the 5 minutes, so you can see that there's quite a few price action is showing that the market may potentially continue to drop here in that direction. There's a crossover of 10 and 20 EM as well. Okay, what happened? There is another news. There is a bounce. Anything happen? Any news? There's a pretty sharp breakout. Okay, so that's a pretty bounce back with one single move. Is it a new candle? Do you have any clue here for this move? Or the market is preparing for rejection again? Welcome. There is a very bounce back to the upside here. And okay, so 1 hour candle before the 4 hour, there is a jump, a complete jump back to the upside here. It's a complete manipulation here. So that's a sharp breakout on gold, and that breakout this is also the 1 hour price action, which is forming a doji. How the candle is going to close is important to see if this is starting up a new upside or manipulation for further drop. 1 hour price again is still after drop. There is a bounce, and this bounce is a pure manipulation. Now that manipulation where the market potentially taking that price back. With this move here, what we are seeing that the market tested this high, and this move back to the upside again is false breakout. So that was a pure liquidity grab that you can see from here. So this one single candle moved almost to 145 pip to the upside. That's a pretty sharp move back to the upside here on gold. And Waiting for the price to show up. For our closed nearly to 10 minutes, and there is a multiple rejection from this support level. That rejection now creating a 1 hour doji. Now if this 1 hour candle closing as a green bullish candle, the market possibly to bounce. If this 1 hour candle closing as a red bearish engulfer, breaking back below, that's where you could see the market to trend down, depending on how the price is creating the structure. The overall market structure is still bearish, but depending on the next two candles on the 5 minutes, also important to see, and then we can look for entry, because overall market here on the bigger picture, if you look at the daily here, you can see that from this daily support there is initially a bounce. Now you guys have seen that our London session trade that we have opened is from the daily high. This kind of trade happens. This is only one move that you can see, purely bullish back to the upside and then rejected. We have entered here the trade, and that's where the starting of this biggest move in that direction. The quality is more important than quantity. We need to look for the trade that really gives us bigger move. That's what we're waiting to see. If we don't get, but we want to take the trade that really make our trading account healthy and growing. I hope that you guys will agree with me. Say yes in the live chat. Welcome back to this live session. Now here is what we can see. This is where, cool, Patrick, welcome. Kevin, welcome. Ronald. Okay, so I see that that's what. Thank you very much. Welcome. That's what you need to see, that trade based on proper system, and we need to, you see that the market, if you look at a very important, you will understand what I am saying. The best trade happen from the daily high, from the 4 hour high, from the 4 hour low. That means the sessions low, sessions high, daily low, and those areas visited by the price not many times in a day, once or twice. And not only that, you need to see how the price is hitting or revisiting those areas. That is where the trading opportunity. Now, for our candle closing in a couple of minutes, we can see that there is a manipulation back to the upside. The market again pushing back below here. So here what we can see, one pattern that we can observe. You see here this support, the market, boom, there is a big bounce, trend back down here just to the order block, and from that order block another bounce. So there is a bullish engulfer, massive bounce from an order block, it formed a higher low, another bounce. So this level is being reacted. Here is a reaction, drop to that level, reaction, drop to that level, reaction. So we see that in that reaction there is a pattern here, okay, creating series of higher low. So the market may try to move back to the upside from those areas. Therefore, here is not a good idea to sell, because these levels is being reacted. And for our close coming, And with this 4 hour close, if the market shows the same kind of reaction, we might see potential a bullish continuation here. And CPI, we have completed 2 sessions with the CPI. Trading is when your time is over, you just need to leave the desk, wait for the next day to come up again with another trade. Coming up tomorrow, another big trading day, guys. AUD is starting with, and then after tomorrow we'll see again AUD, GBP, dollar, PPI coming up, and would like to trade all of them together again in this live session with all of you. If you're ready for the next, taking your trading to the next level, I would like to see you there again trading live together. I'm almost at the end of the session. Here I invite you to join every day in this live session to trade with me, to learn my strategy, and also we are creating great trading community to trade together, to see the market, to learn and grow as a trader. It's a long-term game, so keep eye for the long term and don't fall short-term trap. Be trader for the long-term growth. That's all being said here. I would like to see you again very soon trading live together. Until that, keep your trading account safe by not over trading or FOMO trading. I'll see you again very soon. Until that, guys, stay well.